I'm in motion. I'll be better on camera just shortly, towards a little bit more in our call, but I'm Ginger Gardner, and I just want to give a big warm welcome to all of you for joining. It's so wonderful to see and hear the presence of our GYN community and women's health, women's cancers, and I see we have some really legacy members here, and we celebrate each of you. And a lot of new faces and new energy that's going to come and join our mission and our growth as we really put the pedal to the metal and increase awareness, research, and education about gynecologic cancers and the broader women's health and women's cancer. So I just want to say thank you for all that you do and for taking the time out of your evening to be with us tonight. I think, Marissa, you're running the slides, is that right? I'm just going to do a quick kickoff and pass it on to others, but I think we have a next slide. Agenda of this evening, again, a warm on the current 2024 impact of where we are in the current Move4Her season. We've got 3 wonderful success stories to share and some individuals that are joining us this evening to share their experience, and really want to celebrate those individuals and thank you for being with us. We're going to hear about the September challenge, September being GYN Cancer Awareness Month, and a fun step challenge that we can all get behind and participate in. And then Marissa's going to take it away with some more tools in terms of the fundraising toolkit, some upcoming events and reminders, and open the floor for all of us together to talk together, Q&A, and to just help build each other, help support each other, and help bring our mission forward. I think I have one more slide just to share a current update. Marissa, if you want to pass it forward one more.
Sorry, there's just a little delay. My apologies.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's not you. Nope, there's just a delay.
So where are we now? So we kicked off in March at the SU annual meeting in San Diego, and we are preparing to culminate in the weekend of September 28th with a culminating event run out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So here we sit just shy of 2 months from the big celebration at the end, and just in great appreciation to all of the participants. We have raised over $500,000. Way to go, team. Over $500,000 has been raised to date, and we are going strong. What's super fun is that we've also seen 10 significant local events happen, and you can see screenshots of these on your images here. We had a great Pure Bar event out of New York, run at multiple locations. You can see Sisters of Skydiving. You can see a shopping excursion on the West Coast, of course, Celebration of Champions out of San Diego, Dr. Nevedunsky's event at the John McEnroe Tennis Center, George Erickson's plant sale, and a movement dance event. I mean, just way to celebrate the movement that we are pushing forward together to raise awareness and to raise funds for women's cancers, education, research, and awareness. So celebrating all of you. I understand there are over 9 more events that are scheduled to occur, and I just have to say, this is like this time of the season is when the fun really starts, because this is when we really come together in local communities and local team building, and really happy to kick off this call tonight on how we can help support each other to do so in our local communities and get ready to celebrate together at the end of September. So with that, I'm going to pass it on over and look forward to our conversations this evening. I think our first is Dr. Nevedunsky on the line. Nicole, are you on?
I don't see her, Dr. Gardner, so maybe we start with Scott and then we can come back to her. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, we really want to hear lessons learned and talk about her event when she was able to make it. Go for it. So I think we have Scott Riccio here. that kicked off an incredible team called Move4Her. So Scott, do you want to jump in with the great success your team is enjoying?
I would love to. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully. Yes? No?
Yes. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. I had some internet connection, so I jumped in with my phone as well for audio. So thank you for making time. It's exciting to join. That was it's just fantastic to get to be part of this in some small way. So as was said, yeah, so I work for a company called Karyopharm Therapeutics, and we're based in Newton, Massachusetts, outside Boston. We're a mix of in-person folks and then hybrid teams across the country. So it has added some interesting sort of wrinkles to our fundraising, and kind of team participation efforts, both with Move4Her and kind of lessons learned in years past from our work with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and others. And I think, the takeaways for us are, it's obviously been really helpful to have a champion in the office, and then a potentially another champion or others sort of secondary that are either geographically based or kind of leadership for certain teams, our field, their commercial teams, for instance. So having, the champion in the office obviously is a great help for folks that are in every day, and just kind of keeping things top of mind has been a big help. We're also, of course, and I count myself, incredibly fortunate. Our CEO in this case is the ultimate champion, and so having him, kind of leading the charge for awareness for the Foundation for Women's Cancer is a big help. Also, I think also, from a lessons learned perspective, we have seen there's a little bit of it's hard when the fundraising starts and it's kind of a long-term horizon, right? It's like that kind of race where you can't see the finish line and it's hard to get people started. So what we have found and what worked for us here, we're doing a couple of kind of very sort of short-term, like raffles. These dollars were raised in 2 separate sets of raffles, and part of that was raffling off things that were happening right then, with tickets to an event or tickets to galas or other things that we had available to us that sort of creates that short-term urgency, right? That opportunity to say, oh, well, I'm making a donation of $25 or something today, and I'm going to find out, tomorrow if I'm getting those tickets or I'm going to go to that event. It helps people kind of take that action. And see that urgency, and then we sort of begin to string those together over time, and then people feel like, oh, well, now I can look at our team and see, we've really already made a meaningful contribution, and it feels more tangible and real. So I think those were some of our lessons of having the champions, and I think certainly a reminder. We have worked hard anytime we take on a team effort like this of building awareness inside our organization of the WHO, right? So who is Foundation for Women's Cancer, and what is it that they do, and that helps a lot. So we try to do that kind of on a regular basis just to make people aware, so that when we are holding a raffle on behalf of Move4Her, for instance, it's not the first time somebody's hearing that organization name. They have an appreciation and familiarity with it, even if they're not, let's say, on our endometrial cancer team. Maybe they work in another area. And so the regular kind of awareness of the who, and then the tie to the why, right? I mean, many of us joined this organization because we wanted to make an impact in women's cancer, in particular in endometrial cancer. And so understanding, again, the relevancy of the work that the Foundation for Women's Cancer does in building awareness, in driving forward progress. I mean, those things are really meaningful to people, and it's not a big ask then to turn around and ask for a small donation in support of a raffle or whatever else it might be, or to join a team. So I think I'll stop there, just basically saying, I think we like I said, we've been really fortunate it certainly helps a great deal to have a champion at the very top of the organization. But I think also, kind of thinking about those ways to create short-term urgency to get people just started and over the hump, I think is terrific. And like I said, for everybody, I mean, you guys have, I mean, it's a wonderful kind of theme to think about moving today as, moving today for more tomorrows. And that really, goes so well with our, branding and thinking around believers in the extraordinary and believers in patients. And so it has been we're fortunate in a lot of regards, but I think that has been our success, and we are really just excited to get started and hopefully do a great deal more moving today for many, 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 many more tomorrows. I will stop there. Thank you.
Much, Scott. You know, I'm going to punt back to you and open the floor for some questions if
Sure.
anybody has some. A little problem with inviting gynecologic oncologists to join you in presenting. They get held up in patient visits, understandably, or in all important surgery. But Scott, I believe you all are planning something in August around an event that your organization typically has, but you've thought that you might add a Move for Her element to the event. So sometimes if you can piggyback on something that's already existing, maybe that makes it even just a little bit comes together in a nice way.
Yeah, that's a great call out, Holly, and thank you for that reminder too. And it just happened to sort of, that would have been a great way to start, I think, our activities, and we've kind of done it backwards, but it just happened that way. You're right. We have what we call core weeks, you know, sort of every other month or so at the organization, and that is to say that we try to bring people from across the country into the Newton office just to get people, you know, that opportunity to be together, to share a space, to build on the relationships, to have the kind of cross-functional meetings that help us in our success and our efforts going forward. And so when we do those, it's kind of a, you know, you kind of fly in on Monday and we spend Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday together. And so you're exactly right. What we thought about was, you know, that week we want to really have a kind of, you know, Believers in Patients Week, a celebration of the patients and the partners that we work with to drive awareness and support and community for the communities we serve. And so what we landed on was actually doing a short walk, basically, and doing, you know, so there's both the tangible element of moving today for more tomorrows and getting everybody kind of engaged in a walk. We have a 1 mile loop kind of near our office that we thought would work really well. And then also, you know, just bringing visibility about how that sort of activity can help us raise funds for the Move for Her campaign and for the Foundation for Women's Cancer. So yes, towards the end of August, we are planning to do that as well, on top of the other activities between here and there. So you're exactly right, Holly. And I'm happy to take questions if I can be helpful anywhere else.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions for Scott?
I just have a quick comment. I just think it's such great leadership, and you know, this could happen at any place of work. You know, sometimes organizations want to get behind a good cause, and can be a fun thing to do with coworkers, and it could be in any industry for that matter. It doesn't have to be, you know, particularly an industry that's focused on health necessarily. It could be a fashion industry or a fragrance industry or anything else for that matter, but bringing coworkers together. I really like that concept of the short win with that raffle to make something feel like there's a quick turnaround on it and do something engaging outdoors as a group of coworkers. So I'm just thinking out loud a little bit, but happy to hear what others are what churns in the mind of others on the call.
Yeah, I love your ideas. I'm sorry, I kind of came on a little after the introductions, but my name is Rita Stiles. I'm the nurse manager for the James in Columbus and at a GYN oncology clinic. And we also have like a mile loop around our department. We try to get out at least on Mondays and Fridays to walk. And our patients, like, they're so close to the area. And I'm just thinking of how to incorporate them more if they would be interested in this too. Yeah, just some thoughts, but I love your ideas because they're very easy to implement, I feel like.
Terrific, Rita. Will go Ohio State. Thanks so much for joining us. Really glad that you're here. And just a little bit of a twist on something, I see Janet Edelberg, who has introduced us to her Hadassah group in Naples, Florida. So we'll be doing an educational event with them. So yes, if you have some organizations that are close to your heart that you think would benefit from learning more about the Foundation for Women's Cancer, please do that. And Terry, I don't know if you are able to talk on the phone right now. I see that you're still on. Are you able to talk for a moment?
Hey, Holly, how are you?
Hey, well, if it's not too much to ask, we're going to see if Dr. Maxwell and Dr. Nevandusky can join us in just a moment. But if not, which I know they're not here right this second, you and your allied health professionals have welcomed us so warmly to Charlotte for our Move for Her event. But what was so fun is you all put together geographic teams. Could you maybe just share the idea that you all had about taking a group of people? I see Mahal Haas is on the phone, and I know she has a group of friends around the country. Could you maybe share what you're doing with your allied health professionals?
Yeah, sure, I can. So what we've done, and I want to say I don't have the exact names of each group, but we have 5 different groups, and it's just divided up by cancer type as well as region of the company. And so we do have a team lead for each group. And since I'm in Houston, which is a southwest region of the country, I'm leading that group, and my focus is on cervical cancer. And so our goal is to secure participants who would be willing in our region to support the Move for Her campaign by either donating money, their time, anything that can help support this effort.
Yes, well, you all have done a wonderful job, and I loved seeing you in your Move for Her t-shirt, Terry, on the treadmill. So you had a lot of fun with that. And Catherine, if you maybe have a chance to put the names of the teams from the allied health professionals, they had a lot of fun with putting things together in a very clever way. And Shelley, we will absolutely connect you to Janet. So thanks so very much. I will get you all your shared information. So Dr. Gardner, not to call you out, although I see you're now sitting at home. So I wanted to ask you, do you want to touch a little bit about Dr. Nevin Dunsky's event in New York, since you were so great to be representing the foundation there?
Absolutely. Happy to do so. Nicole's stuck in the OR, and maybe she'll be able to join us later, but if you have that slide up, happy to speak to this event. Nicole put together, this was a first-time event. This happened in month of June, and she basically wanted to recruit donations and to increase awareness amongst her friends outside of her workplace. So this is a little bit of a different slant. Rather than mobilizing coworkers, this was more about mobilizing her social community. And as she put it to me, she said, I always show up for their events. I always put in a little, whatever I can for their causes, and they need to support the Foundation for Women's Cancer. So as a tennis enthusiast, she went to the local tennis place and did a little tour, talked to the organizers on site, picked a date, sent a blast email to her friends that she supported over the years, and really had a great event. So you can see some of the pictures here. She worked with Holly and Catherine and Gail. She had a microsite up that QR coded in the donations. She had purple balloons, and it was a lot of fun. So really 3 cheers to her. She's on the leaderboard, and I think as a first-time event, really knocked it out of the park. So if she's able to join later, I'm sure she can provide more details, but certainly want to celebrate this first-time event that was organized through a social, through friends and neighbors, and in that capacity. And happy to field any questions, or if there's any inspiration that brings out from the group today, or any questions.
And just to add to that, Dr. Gardner, for everyone to be aware, Dr. Nevin Dunsky was one of the first people to really activate using our toolkit. So just a reminder, especially those that have events coming up, and we'll go into it in a little bit more detail shortly, but we have an incredible toolkit of materials to support you all on move4her.org. So just a reminder to use that, and it was just fantastic to have Nicole pilot using a lot of those materials as well.
Yes, and if you feel like you don't have enough time, she pulled this together in 3 weeks, which was really kind of stunning, because it just hit her that she wanted to do this in memory of a dear friend of hers, and she had been looking for the right thing. She attended our Institute of Surgical Excellence event and said, you know, I can do something. And like a true New Yorker, she did it in 3 weeks and it was a stunning success. But, you know, sometimes just getting out there and she knew people would be leaving for the summer. So it was really, really wonderful. So Dr. Gardner, we have 2 options now. I can either talk a little bit about the STEP challenge and we can try to wait for Dr. Maxwell, or you can share a little bit about the DC plans. I know you and he have been in deep conversation about this, so I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I'll just do a preview, and if people can join in, because when we have more open forum, we can come back to some of these things. This event is being put together by Larry Maxwell out of Inova Health System in the Washington, D.C. area. And, you know, his concept on this is to do something really public facing. So he's like mapped out a walking circuit of varying lengths and kind of sent out a blast communique about this, and really wants to do something in the public, you know, really the awareness space. And obviously there's a donation component as well. But if he's able to join, he can talk more. And this kind of weaves with the September challenge. I mean, the steps and sort of stepping it up in September for gynecologic cancers. So if he's able to join, he can share more details. But I think that's it's going to be a big event. It's going to be super fun. I think he's got some sort of candlelight and special moments around dusk. It's going to be a sunrise to sunset event on September 14th in the Washington, D.C. area. So anybody that lives in that area might want to join and participate, or build a team that engages in that local event in DC this year. So really excited for this. This is another new event, and it's so fun that we're growing in all these wonderful new ways.
Well, and he just sent his first Evite out to everybody today. So he's again somebody who has really utilized the toolkit and is trying to make the best use of the resources that are now on the website. So we'll point to those later. But Marissa, if you can maybe go to the next slide about the September challenge, this we really hope will be a fun way to engage those of you who are saying, oh my, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to plan an event this summer, but I want to do something to support Move4Her. And I'm putting myself in this bucket. We have got a wonderful new September distance challenge that we are going to be putting together during Gynecologic Cancer Awareness Month. So please put it on your calendar now. Our final team lead call will be on Tuesday, August the 13th at this time, 5 p.m. Central Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be previewing the exact way that the STEP challenge will work. But just to give you an idea of what is coming so that you might be able to make plans, this was our way. We had a number of people who registered as a team captain, but just weren't able to actually pull an actual event together. In some cases, they did also do some outreach to their networks and friends to encourage donations for the Foundation for Women's Cancer. But this is an activity that you can engage in yourself, or that you can encourage others to do with you in terms of creating a distance challenge. So for the 5 gynecologic cancers, if you wanted to try to walk 5 miles each week in September, or if you're really ambitious, if it's 50 miles or 500 miles if you're a super athlete in the month of September, we are going to have this challenge that's done through our Raisely platform, and it is encouraging individuals to either create teams or just do it on their own and send out information to their own personal network to support the person who is achieving their STEP challenge goals. So there will be an app called Strava that integrates seamlessly with our Raisely platform. And so participants are able to connect the two through Raisely and then to track individual distance. So just as we have leaderboards on the Move for Her page, we'll be able to do that for the month of September. And Terry, thank you so much for sharing what you and your wonderful colleagues from the Allied Health Professionals are doing. You can also do it for a weekend or for a period of time. Pick your own adventure. It's something that you'll be able to do yourself. But we hope that'll be something for the month of Gynecologic Cancer Awareness Month. That might be something that people not putting individual events together would want to consider doing. So I don't know if there are any comments or thoughts about that or any questions.
Terry, I think you're on the line. Terry Earls, I think.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, we're so excited for the allied health teams. I'm so curious, are you guys doing a step challenge, or could you tell us more about all of this, you know, how you're arranging things and how we can help?
Yeah, we actually just came up with the team names maybe like a week or so ago, but unfortunately I haven't decided what I'm doing with my team yet. Mine is the Southwest Cervical Cancer Eliminators.
Ooh.
Love it.
That's awesome. I see these in the chat, and you've got the Southeast Vaginal Team, Midwest Walk for Uterus Team, West Coast Vulvar Warriors, and Survivors of Steel. Wow. And are you doing a step challenge with these teams, or are you doing a competitive challenge in other ways, or how are you setting things up?
Probably engage my colleagues here at MD Anderson and see if I can get them to do the step challenge and donate some money at the same time.
Oh, that's super cool. I know in Seattle, they did a walk just around, you know, the medical center. They were around the park, right? I don't know exactly the venue they chose. It wasn't officially a step challenge, but they got some great video and just had a good time celebrating and bringing community together. So I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
Yes, and other ideas. We have a very creative planning committee for the Move for Her walk and celebration in Charlotte, and we are going to host our celebration at a local brewery. So very much, Amy, like you were doing with your cocktails event, they have named drinks, you know, so having a lot of fun just to get the conversation going is really a great idea, and just to let people have fun in discovering more and learning more about the important information that really needs to be shared. So Marissa, I think with no other comments, we can let you take it on to the toolkit now.
Excellent. So again, like we said earlier, we're here to support you all and make your event planning as seamless as possible. So just a reminder that we have a really robust toolkit available on move4her.org. It's easy to find up here in your top toolbar. And we, as of now, have everything from invites to emails to social copy to social graphics. We even have a how-to plan an event guide. So please take a look. But what we're really excited about to open up the conversation this evening is to hear more from you all. Are there any other resources that would be beneficial as you're planning your events? We do plan to add to the toolkit throughout the fundraising season. So next up that we will be releasing in the next week or so is a printable banner. So that was something we heard from event organizers that would be valuable, you know, including the Move for Her branding, but something that's edible. So you can include your event information and then very easily print it at your local printer. So stay tuned for that. That's part of the July update, as well as new email copy and social graphics. We know at times, you know, there might be a need to find new and exciting ways to engage your communities. So we're here to help with that, offer new ideas. So with that, just would love to open up to the group if there's other types of resources that would be beneficial as you all are planning your events. And if you don't have any tonight, that's okay. We're always here. Please email us and let us know. We love the ideas and again, the toolkits to support all of you.
Is anybody on the call joining us for the first time that didn't get a warm hello? I think I see Sarah Andres. I don't know if you can come off on camera. Is there anybody else that's just joining us for the first time that had, oh, hey, Sarah. Hey.
How are you?
Good to see you. I know there are some other names I don't recognize, so if you feel free to come on camera and say a quick hello. We just want to welcome everybody. And, you know, some team, this is where the fun really happens. This is the magic, right? Because this is when the real, you know, either team kickoff, launch, or build happens between now and end of September. So if you're joining us for the first time, just big welcome, and let us know any thoughts or how we can help.
Hey, I just wanted to say hello. I'm Michelle. I'm one of the observers on the FWC Development Committee. So just kind of trying to learn more and get more involved.
Hey, Michelle, where are you calling in from?
I'm the second year fellow at Yale.
Oh, you're in striking distance up here.
Exactly.
Nice, from where I'm sitting. And Sarah's here in New York.
Wonderful.
Terrific. And I know it is so great to see you, Michelle. We are loving having you on the development committee. So thanks so much for this and considering what might be able to be done at Yale. And
Absolutely.
Mahal, I don't want to call you out if you're not able to come on camera, but I know this is your first time to join us, and you've talked about maybe thinking of engaging people around the country, and you were so great to come to our Pure Bar event in New York. So thanks for coming off on camera. It'd be lovely to hear what you're thinking.
No, I just wanted to hear what everyone else was talking about. Just so people know, I'm a ovarian and uterine cancer survivor, but I also am very well connected with the young survivors around the country. So what I'd love to do is bring the toolkit to them and maybe have someone talk with some of the people in that group to see if how they'd like to do this in their different markets. And if someone's available to do that with me, that would be great. Happy to reach out to my folks and find out a time where everyone can speak and brainstorm ideas of what would work locally. I'm also going to be seeing a bunch of them in 2 weeks, so I can find out what they would like to do for September and year round.
We would absolutely love to join the call. So absolutely would be very happy to be available and to point them to some of the resources. So for everybody on the call, if you again have some organizations that you would like to introduce us to, or to help share patient education resources as Janet has done. I love seeing these connections with Mahal, and now Amy Murrah is eager to connect with you, Mahal, and Janet and Shelley. That's the whole purpose of this call. So just let us know how we can be helpful. Don't hesitate to reach out to any of us on the team here.
Sounds great. Looking forward to working with all of you. And I know that my fellow survivors are definitely interested, and we're excited about the event I went to and I got to meet Dr. Gardner at. So if, you know, the more we can give people for the local markets, the more people want to get engaged.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Mahal. It's great to see you again. I'm happy to participate, or anything I can do to help you spread the message. And I agree with you, you know, the young patient population is very much in need. Unfortunately, we are seeing an increase amongst various demographics, including young patients. And, you know, for our diseases, that's a population that has some very specific needs related to oncofertility, hormonal management. There's just a lot to unpack there. And we fund a lot of research in some of those areas that are specific to the young patient population. So just, we're here in spades, and so happy to see you and help spread the message and awareness to that community.
Yes, I think that would be, and that would be super helpful. And I know that this is definitely something that people will be very interested in getting involved with and getting their loved ones involved with. So the more information we can have for them, the better. And I think everyone is even on board with the concept of going under the umbrella of purple, not just teal versus peach versus this versus that. So that also was something that came up. I know we have calls, usually unofficial ones, on Wednesday and Thursday evenings. So if anyone wants to join one of those, I can connect you guys with people from around the country who would likely really want to get involved in some way. And even if we could do virtual things, it's a pretty active group.
Yeah, the step challenge might be fun for that, but we can, lots of good ideas.
And they also would like to, more people want to participate in SGO this year. I already have a whole bunch of us planning for Seattle.
Awesome.
Well, this is wonderful, Mahal. Consider us available whenever it is good for you and your group. And I will tell you just a little insider secret, since everybody is so kind. We have one of our sponsors who is very much engaged in the Spot Her campaign for endometrial cancer, and they're going to have a special peach surprise at our celebration and walk in Charlotte. So, and you'll see at our Move for Her shirts that will be offered through our swag bag that on our Move Today for More Tomorrow's logo, we have a sunrise with all the colors of the gynecologic cancers. So we're trying to include everybody in the purple umbrella. And some other fun insider news: the city of Charlotte is going to be lighting up purple for us during the evening of our celebration. So hopefully just want to get a lot of great, important conversations going.
Yes, while we're on colors, purple is the inclusive color for all GYN cancers, and for that matter, all women's cancers. So we are the purple and the purple umbrella, and thank you for sharing that wonderful news, Holly. That's great.
Well, Mahal, sorry, Marissa, I was just going to ask if Julie Haffey, I don't know, Julie, Mahal was a first-time visitor on the call, and you've not had a chance to join us, but you and your family did such an extraordinary job in honoring your mother last year with Move for Her. I didn't know if you might want to offer anything on the call tonight.
I would love to. Thanks. My camera is not working. I was in the car driving home and kept my call on my phone, and now it's not letting me start my video. So I really apologize. Next time I'll have video capability. I'll be more prepared. But yeah, thank you so much. It's really nice to just get ideas. I participated in Move for Her starting in 2020 when everything was remote. And then last year when the event was in DC, that's my hometown. So I was able to join in person, which was so awesome. And we got a great group together, but our team is Move for Mo, and we did Move for Her remotely while we were remote during COVID. And then my mom passed away last summer, but she was able to get the team started and, helped us design like our team hats, and was, emailing family and friends just to get everyone involved in joining our team. So it was definitely a joint effort with my mom. And we hope to continue to honor her and to raise awareness. And being on this call, I think, is just, I'm a little bit of a sponge tonight to try to get inspired and see, how I can get our team together to raise awareness, raise funds. So my wheels are starting to turn. I wish I could make it to the Charlotte event, but I actually moved recently to Florida, to South Florida. And so we're scattered. Our team is all scattered all over the place, but I think the STEP challenge is a great opportunity. And so, yeah, I'm just going to start thinking and hopefully get something together for us before September comes.
Oh, that's great. Julie, where are you in South Florida? What city, town?
I live in Delray Beach now, but I go back to DC often. It's, forever going to be home, but.
Well, you've got a friend from Florida here. Is Shelly still on? There she is. Hey, Shelly.
I'm here, and I've been listening just because it's really my first call. It's not my first event with you, as you guys know. And it was quite the enjoyable event for me to be joining out you guys all in California speaking. But as I'm listening, and I think I've had this conversation with Holly before, for me, the reason I'm so interested is kind of in the educational aspect of it, because when I talk to the people in my area, everybody wants to know, how could we have known? How could you have caught it sooner? So I'm very interested. Do we have some kind of, and that's why I want to get with Janet on the West Coast, who's going to do an educational event with Hadassah, because I feel like, is there some kind of like almost like a canned event, something that we could just say, here's the educational presentation. We're going to have a luncheon. We're going to do a raffle, a fundraiser, a speech. We're going to have the survivors talk. We're going to have Dr. Gardner talk. We're going to have the local doctor talk. If we had some kind of a toolkit for that, that's where I find that I might be able to get the most interest. And the ladies will go, oh, Shelly, when are you going to have the luncheon? When are you going to have luncheon? Want to hear you talk. Want to hear all about it. Want to know. Oh, is it endometrial? Is it ovarian? Is it this? So I'm looking for something, not necessarily exercise, because everybody around me exercises, and but I really think that what they want to hear from me when I talk to them is education, and how will women know if they have a gynecological cancer? They all know how to find out they have a breast cancer. So that's really where I'm trying to listen in and figure out how this group or myself, or learn from Janet, who maybe is already starting this, can move forward with educational luncheons that are seminar and fundraising oriented.
Well, I had a chance to talk to the chair of Janet's event earlier this week, Julie, who does have a beautiful template, and certainly we have some things. So Janet, I'd be happy to follow up with you and Shelly offline. But Shelly, just really continue to appreciate your desire to helping to educate people. Gail and I were on a call with some community health workers this week, and we shared a great deal of gynecologic oncology educational material. One of the young women was just diagnosed with fibroids and is having a procedure tomorrow, and another's mother is willing to think of clinical trials now after having gynecologic cancer that metastasized to her brain. So it's so important. So anything we can do to be helpful.
Great. Thanks so much for following up on that, Holly. Of course, one of the main pillars of the foundation is patient education, and that can take many forms. Before the pandemic, we had a lot of live patient education events. So I'm really interested to hear more about Janet's events and to help support you, Shelly, and others that want to promote patient education as a centerpiece of their work. But the reason why I called you out, Shelly, is because Julie, I don't know how, you're both in Florida, and I didn't know how far Delray Beach is from where you are, Shelly. But
I'm in Palm Beach Gardens, and Delray's about a half hour away. So Julie, we could definitely hook up somewhere. I'm in New York right now getting treatment, and I'm going home in the next couple of days. If you shoot me your phone number on there, I'll give you a call when I get home.
Yep. Great. Thanks.
Especially if you're new to Florida. I mean, I'm still 40 minutes away, but it's not that far.
No, far at all. Just shoot up 95.
There you go.
That's wonderful. Is there anybody else that's new on the call for the first time tonight that we didn't get to?
Hi, it's Tori. I am dodging my children who keep making noise and wanting to dance and sing around me. So I just ran into a room really quickly. It's my first time on the call tonight, and getting some really good ideas, which I appreciate. I have some ideas for a couple of events that I would like to get going here soon, but something Scott said earlier, I think spoke to me, which is the short-term action helps to create an urgency for fundraising. And I found that to be true. So I keep the education going all year and talking to people about educating about the GYN cancers. But I think in terms of fundraising, I noticed the shorter period of time that you tell people and then the event happens, the better. So I have some ideas in mind for that. And I'm just enjoying kind of soaking up the inspiration that I'm getting from this call. So I'm so glad I was able to make it tonight.
That's great, Tori. Where are you calling in from?
So I am in Alpharetta, Georgia. That's right outside of Atlanta.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, welcome,
So,
welcome.
thank you.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
Tori, my parents live right next to you, so we'll have to exchange contact information. I'm in Atlanta often.
Oh, nice, nice. Yes, I would love to get a chance to catch up with you and meet. That would be wonderful.
Well, you've been so wonderful to be a longtime generous supporter, but we're glad you're here on the call for the first time. So thank you so very much.
Yes, this is definitely something that is near and dear to me and my family. And so I will be here and show up in every way that I can. We've been doing this since the race to end women's cancer. So I will show up and do all that I can every year. And however I'm needed, you guys let me know.
Thank you so much. We're just the kind of new friends to take you up on that.
That's right.
So
Well,
thank
hey,
you
I'm
so
here.
much.
I put it out there.
Oh dear. Well, it'll be fun to meet in person in the coming months.
Yes, yes, I would love that, Holly.
Is there anybody else new? I know we've got a few more slides and our time is getting short, so jump in there. We're a pretty friendly bunch. So if there's anybody else that wanted to say a quick hello. Holly, did we catch everybody on the call?
Almost everybody, not quite everyone, but I don't know. Christina, if you would like to say hello, we've not had a chance to meet. And maybe she just stepped away, but I think we're good.
Okay. So I think we had a couple more slides just to take it home here. Marissa, you were showing us the way that you can register an event and then it populates into the calendar. And then we promote the events that are registered on the FWC calendar. So that's an access point for others to be able to find your event and or for us to promote your event far and wide. Marissa, anything else on this component of the toolkit?
No, I think you covered it. Just to reiterate, please do let us know when you have an event. We'd love to promote it and add it to our calendar. It's very easy. Just go on the website. Up here is the events calendar, and then you can complete a form, and then we'll add your event to our calendar.
And then I think the next slide has the way, if you choose to have your own microsite for your event. So this was the first time we used this was this year. This is a new tool. And Nicole Nevedunsky used this for her tennis event. And so Marissa or Holly, I believe, or Catherine, you connect and give your information, and maybe you could explain how you can have this built for your event. Could somebody?
Catherine is the star in this area.
Okay, Catherine, go for it.
That's very kind, Holly. Yeah, so you can just reach out to me via email and just pass on the details of your event, and I can get you set up with a page and send you a draft, and then we can work together on any customizations that you'd like to see. So for this tennis event, we added some photos of Nicole's friend who the event was in memory of, and added some information about the event itself and what the date would look like. So yeah, just reach out to me via email and we can organize it together.
Thank you, Catherine. I mean, just so beautiful and just a great tool to make things easier for our local team leads. So thank you for sharing that and building it. Customized to the particular event. And definitely photos. I mean, again, so much of this is participation and awareness. And, you know, the more we can capture photos. We can show the engagement that we're all on the move today for more tomorrows, and showing that movement, whatever it may be. And if you choose to do a step challenge in your neighborhood with your coworkers, or, you know, down the town center, whatever moves your message, or if you choose to do something, tennis or dance or plant sale, or, you know, something that you choose that really is you're choosing your adventure that you think has meaning to your community, please send photos. Catherine, is there a way that people can elect to do that? Is that through the link here?
Yes, absolutely. There's a link on the website by the photos as well. If you do have any trouble with that, just contact me via email, but it should be working.
Catherine, mine's already up, but I need to make edits to it. Should I just send it to you? Because I'm not a tech person, so I may lose things. Is it best if I just, okay? Because we've already had a lot of changes. Positive, but just a lot more is happening now.
No problem. Yeah, reach out to me directly. We'll work on it.
Okay.
Awesome. So there's Catherine's email. And she's also, you can find her information on the website, of course. And I think our last visual slide, and then we can just wrap up with any other conversations or topics that come up, is just a big shout out. So September, Terry, keep me straight here, or she had to dial off, September 27th and 28th and 29th in Charlotte, North Carolina, is the SGO Allied Health member meeting. So that means nurse practitioners, advanced practice providers, physician assistants have their major SGO meeting, being held as a 2.5-day educational event for the Allied Health members of the SGO in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is going to be awesome. I think there was like 300 last year that showed up for their meeting, and it was in Phoenix last year, if I recall correctly. This year, that event is happening in Charlotte. So anybody that's within their health system that wants to encourage their nurse practitioner or physician assistant to join SGO education, that's happening that weekend. And for the foundation, we're going to be all ablaze in purple. So we're going to have the skyline purple, as you just heard. We're going to, in honoring the step challenge, we're going to do a walk through the greenways of Charlotte, as you can see pictured here. And at, I believe, 5:55 p.m. for the 5 GYN cancers. Don't know how we picked that time, but guess what? 5:55 p.m. And then that's going to be a culminating event at the tap room at the Lost Worlds, which is a brand new facility. And you can see it's an indoor-outdoor with a beautiful outdoor patio that opens up to the greenways. And so it's just going to be a wonderful celebration of our SGO Allied members and exceptional community of the Foundation for Women's Cancer. So all are welcome. And those that can't participate in Charlotte, let's ring the purple flag, purple bell locally, and celebrate GYN Cancer Awareness Month in a way that's meaningful in your local community. And just thank you for all the energy and creativity that you brought to today's event and discussion. I'm always re-inspired by the community that we are together and by each of you. So with that, I'll turn it back to Holly and Marissa to lead any follow-up conversations and to close out this evening. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gardner. You are such an inspiration for us all. And every time I talk to you, I leave with great energy. So thank you. And I think we did a really nice job of having conversations through the time together. But do you all have any other comments or questions that you would like to share, just as it's turning 7 o'clock Eastern time?
And just one more shout out for that August, what date was that, Holly?
August 13th.
August 13th is a Tuesday at 6 p.m. for the digital detail about the step challenge, the Strava connection. So if you're planning a step challenge in your area, the technology debrief will be on that evening call. That's the last of our series of calls before GYN Cancer Awareness Month. So just mark your calendar for August 13th if you want the debrief on the technology and to be inclusive of that in your September or your upcoming event. reach out to Catherine if you want your microsite built, or if you have any other questions, or how any of us can help to support you and your community.
And if Dr. Nevin Dunsky had been able to join us, she would have said Catherine was fabulous to work with. I think what she said, and she made it so easy. She told me that in a debrief call. But any other comments or thoughts?
Kelly, I just was listening to or reading something. It was about a month ago, and I just forgot all about it. But Howard Stern's sidekick, Robin, I can't think of what her last name is, but she's a GYN cancer survivor that's still battling, and I didn't know if you knew that, but she's become very vocal. I want to say no, I don't know. I don't want to lie and just take a guess. But she's been for 11 years now, and she's still she's not she still has disease. She's still dealing with it. And I meant to let you know way back when, but of course, my brain doesn't remember things 2 minutes later. So,
well, you remembered it now, so that's perfect timing. But I
yeah.
don't watch the Howard Stern show, but somehow I know exactly who she is. But I did not know.
I was waiting for a mammogram, and there was a magazine, and and it said something about GYN cancer, and I opened it up, and that was her.
But she's very well known. So thank you for sharing that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for her diagnosis, but appreciate your letting us know, Amy. So
Yeah,
any
because
information like that is welcome too.
Yeah, because I think I don't know on what platform she's doing, but she said she's vocal about it. So it may be someone that we could connect with. I mean, yes, in the Howard Stern shows, the language may not be appropriate for what we would do, but I think on her personal level, speaking about and being an advocate, which she's already doing. So
Amy, thank you so much for sharing that. A quick Google search shows me that it's endometrial cancer.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
And we are frequently asked about vaginal health, sexual health, and intimacy after or subsequent to treatment, or even during treatment, related to the cancers that we treat. So that's in fact, some of our sexual health patient education materials are some of the most commonly downloaded. It's one of the hot ones. We got a lot of content, so there's a lot of them that are very popular. But that's very interesting. So thank you for letting us know that. And I'm so sorry that she and that anybody has to face these diseases. We that's what we're here for. So thank you.
And then one other person, that short story, because I know we got to go. The manager of the dealership that's now our title sponsor that I'm working with, his wife happens to be a GYN cancer survivor. And she's a lead fitness person with Les Mills. And so I'm trying to get her to lead us for 5 minutes of exercise for the 5 GYN cancers. She was also, I think hers was endometrial as well, but I can't remember. So I left a message, but I haven't heard from her yet.
Oh, that's great. Keep us posted.
So I think it'd be nice if there were 2 of us, 2 different cancers standing up there, being, it's more than just about, us. So, and I know she just finished something because she also has some other medical stuff, but she continued, as I did when I was going through treatment, continued to teach fitness. And so she's still, I can give you her name if you want to look her up. It's Ashley. Hold on. Ashley, because her husband showed me this information. That's the only reason why I know. MCCALLUM. And then if it's Les Mills, the fitness people.
Did you get that?
Or the fitness company. She's one of his lead instructors.
Can you spell her last name one more time, Amy, please?
Well, I'm hoping it's under that name, the name I'm giving you. CALLUM, McCollum.
Perfect. No, thank you so much. I was writing her name down, but I did see that Tori shared that she's a licensed therapist to talk about she specializes in intimacy after cancer issues for women. So thank you for sharing that, Tori. So I'm getting lots of great information here, but we want to be thoughtful of everybody's time unless there are any other comments. But thank you for sharing those great names and leads, Amy, and Tori for sharing your information as well.
You're welcome. I forgot to throw that out there. And like I said before, if I'm needed for anything or if it'll be helpful, just let me know.
Wonderful. Well, thanks to everyone for their wonderful generosity, and Dr. Gardner for covering for all our presenters other than Scott, who you were here among the first on the call, Scott, but everybody's ideas were so exciting to hear, and just know we want to be supportive of you and your efforts. So Marissa, anything you'd like to add?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. Well, everybody have a wonderful evening. Take good care, and we'll look forward to staying in touch and hopefully to seeing everybody on August the 13th.
Take care.
Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a great night.
Thank you.